social media has returned to its nasty form, a lot of whenever ESPN PR is talking about this year's ratings, and they keep comparing it to 2023. And there is a nice, faction of social media that's like, you're ignoring last year, you're ignoring Caitlin Clark, you're ignoring, but you guys, we knew last year was anomalous. 19 million for the national championship is bananas. 12 million for the Final Four is bananas. We had a feeling that it would probably not carry over to the next year, because the truth is that Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, all of these girls are generational type of talents, and Caitlin Clark is like something that we have never seen before. So it stands to reason that as such, the ratings will be impacted when she is no longer in that space. The reason that we are comparing this year's numbers to 2023 is because before last year, 2023 was setting ratings marks because it was historic in nature. And so Caitlin's never going to get drafted again, and she's never going to play in the college space again. And so we have to compare the numbers to actually track and measure real growth from 2023, because that tells us, okay, this was not just a blip on the radar. It was a Caitlin Clark thing. It was last year's class. It's showing us that it is tracking, that these ratings continue to grow and improve. And so I hope that people don't feel deflated in any type of way that the numbers this year were not the numbers that they were last year. We all knew that wasn't going to happen, friends. Like, we all knew that. But we are still seeing huge, our tournament this year, as opposed to 2023, which is the year that we measure, is up 45%. And so to be able to witness the complete buy-in, to witness like the talent that's on the court, because that's also the thing. You can get the attention, but it's up to the young women on the court to deliver on their promise of great television, and they've done that.
Okay, first off, Angel Reese is not a generational talent. That threw me off completely, Elle. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Again, number two, they didn't even do the ratings fairly. They did a sampling of, I think it was 66% of Caitlin Clark's numbers, which technically she would have been sitting around 28 million viewers for the Final Four, right? Or the national championship game. So the way that they're doing the numbers is completely wrong. It's almost like they're trying to show and prove that Caitlin Clark, yes, she's great. What she's done is great. She left her mark. But we have talent below her who also brings ratings and also brings viewership. That's what I'm getting out of this, And it was a big story on social media. Oh, Paige Beckers and UConn did this amount of viewership, or guys. And I might be wrong about this. Somebody said that Caitlin Clark and Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird were on a whole different network on ABC when they did their interview, but it was shown during the national championship game. And that's where people were going they were going to go look for that interview. And I even went. I went to the national championship game. Right? So they still have not dropped the ratings and the difference between peak interview for Caitlin Clark, Diana Taurasi, and Sue Bird, and then the national championship game. This video is not to shit on the national championship and the ratings. In order for me to continue to do what I'm doing, I would love for there to be millions of people watching daily women's college basketball, women's professional basketball. It would be great if there could be 5 Caitlin Clarks bringing in millions of viewers so we could have a fan base to talk about that team or that person. Yes, it has grown a little bit, and I'm hoping it could sustain, especially in college. College basketball is a little bit more exciting. The WNBA, there's a lot of other things going on besides basketball, right? So with the ratings, look, we already know Caitlin Clark. People were doubting, is it just a thing? Is it just a hype? Is it just a today thing? Is it going to last? Well, her numbers prove from last year that it's going to last. There's a big drop off from viewership, and we all know, right? And one of the biggest crowds we've personally seen, if I'm being serious this year, was the crowd Iowa versus USC. And the reason I'm bringing up that game is because people seem to think, if Juju was part of the national title game with UConn versus USC, they would have drew over 20 million viewers. That was a big statement that was put out. I'm like, they're going to draw over 20 million viewers? No way. They're like, yeah, man, Juju, she could pull the eyes. I'm like, bro, Juju's down the street from me. Nobody's talking about Juju out here in LA, respectfully. Yeah, there's a couple, but not like, let's just say she was in Iowa. No. So when they said that, I instantly started to think about the Iowa game. Well, Juju, that was probably your most packed arena that you've played in college. And that was versus Iowa. And it just shows you that the Iowa fan base is huge. And that's why I kept telling people, maybe Juju should transfer to Iowa or somewhere else. USC is not pulling in fans like that. You have an arena, you're hosting the Elite Eight, and you're not even drawing 5,000 viewers to your home game? 5,000? And you guys want to sit up here and tell me that they would have drew over 20 million, even on 100% sampling? Not even close. So if we do the ratings how they did Caitlin Clark's last year, technically the 9 million or 12 million, whatever they drew in this year would have been about 4 or 5 million. Right? And Caitlin Clark, if they would have did the rating how they did the rating this year, she would have been at 28 million, 27, 28 million. Let me make sure I'm getting that right. Hold on. 27. Hold on, y'all. I just want to make sure. Okay. I think that's right. So it just shows you that the media is trying everything they can to make it seem that Paige Becker specifically and Juju Watkins specifically draw like Caitlin Clark. God damn, what the hell? Not draw like as much as her, but they're trying to make it seem like they're draws. Now you're saying Angel Reese is a generational talent, which I don't think that's the case. Do I think Paige Beckers is going to bring some fans into the league? Yes. Yes. Do I think Angel Reese has brought some fans into the league? Yes, but she did not change much. Her fans aren't really showing out like they're supposed to. You guys say Angel Reese is the big topic. They're putting all Angel Reese and Asia leading on Forbes, leading the growth of the WNBA because Angel Reese has 4.8 million Instagram followers. Well, how does she not have 4.8 million viewership when she's playing? How does she play for Unrivaled and has under 100,000, under 90,000 people watching her? But she has 4.8 million Instagram followers. It doesn't add up. It's not making sense. So when you talk about someone who's generational, not only is Caitlin Clark generational talent, she has made a generational impact on the WNBA. And everybody who's involved in the WNBA, anybody who reports to WNBA, anybody in college moving forward, she has made a huge impact. So let's appreciate that and let's not try to always put someone next to her. Oh, the viewership from this year? No, she's in her own league. Let's not try to do it the opposite way. Let's not try to change the narrative. Let's not try to change percentages on how we're rating games to try to make it seem so close to Caitlin, because I know you guys want Paige to be Caitlin, you know, and just how you guys wanted Angel Reese to be Caitlin last year. Now it's going to be Paige this year. So, look, that's what I got for you guys. I know there's some other takes from Elle. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to do that right now. We have some other videos to get to, but Elle Duncan, you know, she is trying her best to say it in a positive way. Like, social media's in the light. Like, let me listen one more
Last
time.
year was anomalous.
Got 5
19 million for the national championship is bananas. 12
Insane. It should have been more.
million for the Final Four.
Should have been more.
Is bananas. We had a feeling that it would probably not carry over to seen before. So it stands to reason that as such, the ratings will be impacted when she is no longer in that space.
Okay.
The reason that we are comparing this year's numbers to 2023 is because before last year, 2023 was setting ratings marks because it was historic in nature. And so Caitlin's never going to get drafted again, and she's never going to play in the college space again from 2023.
So you're saying just because, see, it's just not making sense, Elle. It's not making sense. Caitlin Clark will never get drafted again. She's never going to do this. So why are you trying to compare to Caitlyn? If we know she's levels ahead, why are we trying to compare to Caitlyn? Why?
Thing.
This is what's stirring up the
Last year's
drama.
class. It's showing us that it is tracking that these ratings continue to grow and improve. And so I hope that people don't feel deflated in any type of way that the numbers this year were not the numbers that they were last year.
I don't think people care.
We all knew that wasn't going to happen, friends.
I don't think people care.
We all knew that. But we are still seeing huge. I mean, our tournament this year as a.
I understand where she's coming from, and I get it. Like I said, I'm wishing the best for the women's game. But I can see what Elle's trying to do here, man. That's what I got for you guys. We'll catch you on the next video. Shout out to Elle. Shout out to these young, lovely ladies here. Catch you on the next one. I'm out.